Hey everybody, welcome to Mainly Movies. The official trailer for Coming to America, the sequel to Coming to America, was released this morning, and I'm extremely excited to finally watch it. Coming to America is one of my favorite movies of all time. Seriously, like top 3 for me. I don't really know why, other than the fact that I watched it with my dad when I was a kid and it became one of our movies that we quote constantly. So I've seen it easily 100 times, and I love it just as much every time. So the prospect of a sequel has me excitedly curious. I'm not expecting anything amazing, but I'm hoping there's enough fun to be had with it that it ends up feeling warranted at least. I can't imagine this trailer will be much more than a teaser, but let's check it out.
You must heed my words before I'm gone, my son.
Some more time at Zamunda.
Now, you will be king. But the throne must pass to a male heir. Hakim, it appears you have a son. He must be found.
Prepare the royal jet. We are going back to America. Oh, hell no, your majesty. Come on.
They both look so similar to what they did in '88. How are they possibly still alive, like 30 years later? Randy Watson.
It is so good to see you. Well, Abby, damn, look,
Kunta.
come up in here. Hey, it's Kunta Kinte and Ebola. Famine and blood diamonds.
Nelson Mandela and Winnie.
Those hungry babies with the flies on the face.
Hey, that's too much. Now, you stepped over the line. Now, we won't be talking that kind of shit about the hungry babies. You're going to have to get out of my chair.
Politically incorrect.
So what you doing back here, Hotel Rwanda?
I'm back. Say it again. Feel good. Bang.
Oh man. So that's definitely more of a teaser trailer than anything else, even though it's listed as an official trailer, but there's really not much of the plot there, other than Joffrey Joffre telling him that he's got to go find his son. And so that was something that had already been announced, that the son plot was kind of central here, and I don't know. I'm hoping it ends up kind of making sense within the context of the story, but it just feels a little weird because there was no indication that he had a son or had been in a situation where he might have had a son, at least in the first movie, and so it doesn't seem like, in the words of Patrice, that somebody's messing around. I don't think he would have done that to Lisa when he was in New York. And so, whether this was, one of his bathers when he was back in Zamunda before he came to New York the first time, or one of the rose bearers or somebody, I don't know. We'll see. I mean, it's not gonna ruin the movie for me if it's something else, but as of right now, that's really the only place I could see him potentially having a son. But then that begs the question, why is the son in New York unless they left Zamunda and went there for whatever reason. So I don't know. I don't know how that'll be with this whole son plot. But I it looks very kind of classic Coming to America. It's ridiculous. It's over the top when they're in Zamunda. It's like when they had that dancing scene in the beginning before his wedding, or his first wedding. It's always over the top and goofy in Zamunda, and then very kind of stuck in time, it seems, at least in the barber shop. That's really all we've got in terms of a look at what New York's like in this time period. So how those guys are still possibly alive, because that son is clearly in his 30s or at least late 20s. So it's definitely supposed to be today's time period that this one's set in, or at least it seems. So the fact that those barbershop guys are even possibly still alive is kind of insane, but It's just it's so ridiculous. It's one of those movies that I could tell I'm going to get enjoyment, if not from the plot, at least from it making me remember things I love about the original movie. And honestly, that's probably enough for me to enjoy this movie. Like I said, I don't anticipate anything too amazing. I don't have like high hopes that this is gonna somehow be better than the original, or even, honestly, even remotely close. But as long as it has some humor, which it seems to. I love that the barbershop guys are back. It seems like so many are back. Cleo's back. Obviously Lisa's back. I haven't seen anything about Patrice being back, so that's kind of a little disappointing. I like to see Lisa's sister Patrice be back. And just like all these little characters. I saw Oha's gonna be back, so it's one that I don't know how much enjoyment people who aren't already fans of the original are going to get from it. Maybe it's going to have some great story that ends up being better than I'm expecting. But I'm just looking forward to this because it's coming to America. Like I said, I've loved that movie. I love seeing all these people back. And I'm really curious to see what they end up doing with it. So anyway, that's just my thoughts on the trailer, but what about you? Are you excited for a sequel, 30-something years later sequel to Coming to America, or are you kind of like, why are they even doing this? Be sure to let me know in the comments below. Alright, so if you got some enjoyment or insight out of this reaction, I'd appreciate if you'd hit that like button, and if you haven't done so already, please hit subscribe or add it to see more videos like this, as well as movie reviews. Till next time, this has been Alyssa with Mainly Movies, the way life should be.